We welcome you back to Sports Center, just past 11 Eastern. Big Sunday on the other side of the Atlantic. Novak Djokovic making history on the lawn at Wimbledon, and Italy breaking hearts on the pitch at Wembley. But later in the night, not a European vibe, not British anyway. It was Greek, and it's taking place in Milwaukee. Roll tape. Two big runs, the key in this game. As the Suns lead off an air ball, Giannis lights the candle, or maybe I should say lights the fuse, and boom, the Bucks are on a run. Less than a minute later, Chris Middleton, Giannis, hangs and hits, runs 11-2. Drew Holiday, three, no. Float game.
On point.
It was. The run is 16. The run's now 23-9. Devin Booker had really his first poor shooting game of the playoffs. That's an amazing pass from Holiday to Middleton, back to Holiday, back to Portis. Bobby Portis providing energy. Bucks had 22 in the paint in the second quarter, tied for the most in any quarter of an NBA Finals game in the last quarter century. 30-9 run to end the quarter. Monty Williams, what did he tell his team at the half?
They're freaking out-working us, guys. I'm just going to shoot you freaking straight. They are out-freaking working us.
Well, they would continue to put in work late third. Drew Splappa from three. Bucks now leading by 14. Giannis, no. Giannis, yes. And it hurts worse because it's an and one. He'd make the free throw. I need a final number on him from the free throw line. He was 10 of 13 at one point. He added to that 17-point lead. Now Pat Connaughton steps into a three. It drops. A 16-0 run to end the quarter, and they would go on to win by 20. Afterwards, Monty Williams on the L.
I mean, there's a lot of ways you can spin it, but they played with a great deal of aggression for longer stretches than we did, and we knew it was coming. We did not respond to it well tonight, especially in the second and third quarters. And the turnovers certainly hurt us, points in the paint, everything we've been talking about the whole series. So it was a tough lesson for us to learn. You know what was coming, but just didn't do enough consistently to withstand their attacking the paint, whether it was penetration, offensive rebounding, and then we gave them so many possessions. So we lost a shot, and then they scored off of it. So it was a double whammy.
Well, this is a win for me and all of you at home. Doris Burke's back on the show after calling this game on ESPN Radio. DB, great to visit with you. And the playoffs, as you know so well, having watched them so closely for all these years, there are ebbs and flows. Things come and go. And this Buck team, as we were talking about with Michael Wilbon and Stephen A., when they're physical, when they attack the paint, boy, they're hard to deal with. But it comes and goes. I don't get that. What'd you see from them tonight?
Well, I love what my radio partner John Barry calls them. He calls them the Bucks of chocolate, because you never know what you're going to get. And it's absolutely true. I thought tonight was so much about disposition and one team playing harder for much longer stretches, and that's the Milwaukee Bucks. And when they go to their game, which is in the paint dominance, which is hitting the glass, they are very difficult to deal with. To me, the real estate, every inch of it was fought for by the Phoenix Suns, because Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday played with a matter of pride that they needed to. They were being thoroughly outplayed by Devin Booker and Chris Paul, and both men said, not tonight, not in my house.
I've been so impressed with this Phoenix team who, yes, they've got Chris Paul, but as a group, they're so young other than Chris, and they haven't been through this. The Bucks haven't been on this stage either, meaning the finals, but they've got more experience together. I just wonder how, Doris, do you think Phoenix might react to this loss this way?
Scott, it is incredible to me that there are 3 starters in the Phoenix Suns lineup 24 years of age and younger, and yet the disposition, the maturity, their resiliency all season long. And when you ask Monty Williams about it, he said it goes to Jay Crowder and Chris Paul having been in their ear all year about this time of year. But they got punched in the face tonight. They've got a couple of days to think about it, but they have got to get back to a level of physicality and disposition and match what is coming at them from a desperate Milwaukee Buck team.
You think they will?
I do. I think they will respond unequivocally because I don't think Devin Booker will shoot. I believe he was 3 for 14. I don't have the stat sheet in front of me. Listen, he has made consistently over the course of his career contested shots. It's going to be physically hard for Devin Booker again. I just don't think you see a repeat performance. Now, one thing I'm going to say is they miss Dario Saric. You know, Frank Kaminsky came in limited minutes. Yeah, they're going to miss Saric because Crowder, when he goes off the floor, it's a very difficult physical matchup for them in terms of trying to deal with Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's a challenge for anybody, but Saric not being there is a big miss.
I agree. It's a great point. Look, stars are what propel ratings and talk and this and that, but those role players, those significant minutes that you get from your bench, it's not a luxury. Oftentimes they're the key to the winning possessions and winning games that decide titles in the end. Doris, so good to visit. It's been too long. I hope we can do it again, all right? This is an interesting one. Kind of an eclectic mix. You got Rick Barry. Obviously, they did some great things there by the Bay. Allen Iverson. Willis Reed. Speaking of legendary stuff in the finals. And now Giannis Antetokounmpo, 103 points in his first 3 NBA Finals games. Bucks are on the board. Tim Legler joins us, and you see the scene over our shoulder there. Been waiting a long while for a finals appearance there in Milwaukee, and they're enjoying defending home floor tonight. We talk so much about adjustments and what has to happen. What happened in this one that allowed the Bucks to play and not just win, but win in pretty dominant fashion?
A lot of things went right. And if you think about it, coming out of Game 2, one of the things we were focused on, Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton offensively, where were they? Chris Middleton got off in the first half. It was critical that he do that. Giannis, had another great game, put up big numbers, had a good first half. But to see his co-star alongside of him rolling and in rhythm gave the Bucks a tremendous boost. Bobby Portis was great off the bench. I always talk about where's this supplemental, unexpected offense going to come from. You don't know on a given night, but somebody usually gives it to you in a playoff win. Right. Bobby Portis was huge in the first half. Then you go now to the second half. DeAndre Ayton picks up his 4th foul early in the third quarter. Suns go small. That depleted front line with no Saric, it really tonight came to the fore because they have nowhere else to go. They went zone. They're playing 5 guards basically most of that quarter. And for a while they hung in there because the Bucks were adjusting to guarding 5 guards. And the Suns were scoring. Eventually, though, it was just a consistent offensive rebounding barrage and then 3-point shooting. Suns trying to protect the lane, packed in a little bit. Drew Holiday gets going. So all of those things happened for the Bucks tonight. Middleton played well. Holiday played well. The lineup change dramatically affected this game in the second half with that small lineup by the Suns. There's just no way you can keep up with a team that's got Giannis Antetokounmpo on it with 5 guards.
Look, you make 23s in a game as the Suns did in Game 2, and you had more than a 30-point advantage from 3, you're going to win the game. Well, now you flip the script entirely. I'm just doing the math on this, and my math's a little bit spotty here, but I can figure out that the Bucks had an advantage here. And that's going to pivot from game to game. But you're not going to have a replacement for Saric and Ayton if he's in foul trouble. There's zero answer for Giannis. So if you're the Bucks, what are you taking from this game that you think, you know what, however long this series goes, we've got some things we can lean into here?
I think they're going to go and they're going to look at this tape and they're going to see that with the pace that they played with put so much pressure on Phoenix initially. You could almost see this coming. I mean, I don't know about you, but I certainly felt this was kind of how this game was going to go. Bucks are too good a team to just get rolled by the Phoenix Suns. It's not going to happen. They're too good in that building and they're too physical. That's what they are going to take out of this tape. We can beat this team up if we commit to playing with that kind of force in the paint. They really don't have a lot of answers for us. Now, they had some issues guarding pick and roll in Phoenix. They were much more competitive tonight on every screen, contesting shots, getting back, running in transition, all of that. They were desperate tonight defensively. So that contributed to the Suns' poor 3-point shooting night. But on the other end of the floor, they're seeing that they have no answer for our physicality. whether that's Giannis, whether that's Bobby Portis, whether that's P.J. Tucker and the way he plays on the offensive glass in the lane. Chris Middleton was mixing it up. Drew Holiday. That's, to me, what they're looking at the Phoenix Suns and saying they can't match up with us from a physical standpoint as long as we are committed defensively and not letting them put up these 115, 120-point nights. We're going to get ours, and that's what they come out of this with. They're back in the series very confident now.
Yeah, this felt like a February game against whoever, where the Bucks have triple figures in the third, and they're going to get whatever they want. And that's essentially what they did in this game. More coming from you a little bit later.
Got it.
Tim Legler.